Hello everyone, my name is Kid Lee and welcome to the community feedback video for February 2017. For those who may have missed my first video, this is a new series that I'm doing every month that is allowing you to submit feedback to me that I will then in turn turn into the developers during my monthly report. So down below this video, give me any feedback you have on the game, the good things, the bad things, and I will go ahead and let the developers know what you think. In the month of January, we actually got some rather big information. We got the announcement that we've all been waiting for, and that is the new operation. I know a lot of people are really excited about that, but they might not necessarily be so excited on the delivery method for this new operation. So that's definitely one topic down below in the comments that I would love for you guys to give me some feedback on. So do you like the way they're doing the operation? Do you hate it? What are your general thoughts about the operation announcement? Now, as part of this video series, I like to bring in somebody from the community to voice their opinion directly to the developers. And this month, I've brought in Captain Crud. So how are you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. How about you?
Oh, pretty good. I think we'll go ahead and start if you want to let everybody know what's your main server right now and what is sort of your main class.
Well, my main server and my only server is the Ebon Hawk, and my main class is a DPS Sith Sorcerer, Madness skill tree.
And about how long have you been playing SWTOR?
Oh, since beta came out, man.
Oh, cool. So I asked our guest here to come up with a list of both good things and bad things that are currently happening with the game. So if we want to go ahead and if we want to start with the good list, what are some of the ideas or subjects that you want to talk about?
So the first thing I've got here is I really, really do like the overarching story. Like most of the classes, with like the exception of the Trooper, have really good stories. I mean, maybe the Jedi Consular would be another one that I find weak. And then Knights of the Fallen Empire was overall pretty good, and then Knights of the Eternal Throne built upon that and was really even better. And then their occasional good expansion here and there was pretty good. Um, Another thing I liked is one of the more recent things. I like the uprisings completely. They're really fun, unique, and they can go by fast. They can go by slow. Doesn't matter to me. They're just a really good way. They're really another good PvE content that they've added into the game that I just really enjoy. And just another like technical thing, the balancing of the classes. I mean, some people would still argue that there are some that are really out there and stronger than others, but I feel like, at least in my experience, because I PvE more than I PvP, the I can do the same amount of damage with a Sith Inquisitor that I can with a Republic Commando or whatever, and they've made it more about the gear and the spec tree rather than just buffing the skills themselves. And those are the good things that I like. And then another thing, just that I thought of right now is you don't have to run every part of the story. Like I understand there were a lot of people that not hated, but didn't like Rise of the Hutt Cartel that much. You can skip that and just continue on Knights of the Fallen Empire when you complete your class story. That part I really like a lot.
Okay, now for 2017, the developers have said that their focus is going to be on sort of group content, and we've seen a little bit of piece of that as far as their announcements. Going back to what you were saying about the class stories, do you think they should go back and try and focus on new class stories at some point, or would you like to see some other focus?
I would like to see a continuation of the class story, maybe at some point, or at least like not really a continuation, but maybe a new class story on top of that. Like, for instance, the ending of the Sith Inquisitor story arc is amazing because you become a member. Spoiler alert if you haven't played it, you become a Dark Council member, and it's like you become a Dark Council member, and then you never go in that room again. So I think they could do something like that, like the Inquisitor comes back and you're like one of the last surviving members of the Dark Council, and I'm not a really good story writer, but I'm pretty sure they could come up with something like that.
Yeah, that's definitely a really cool idea, and I've actually heard other people mention that as well. It's like, I mean, we kind of have the sit on the throne thing now, but yeah, people are saying, I want to go back and I want to be a member of the council and make decisions and maybe do some stuff with the dark side or light side or whatever.
Well, yeah, they could. I mean, they don't really. It could really be like a flashback thing because like they never really state where that's the beginning of Knights of the Eternal or Knights of the Fallen Empire. They really never state like how far away that takes place from. God, I can't even remember the last expansion. Wasn't that like it wasn't McKeb? It was something after that, I think.
Shadow of Revan.
Yeah, Shadow of Revan. So, yeah, like they didn't really state where that took place. So it could be like, you do. It could be like a flashback scene, a flashback story to where uh, it's right after Shadow of Revan and the Emperor's disappeared, and then you're like concentrating on fighting the Republic or something. I don't know. Like I said, not very good story development here.
No, those are really solid ideas. Well, moving on to the second half. What are some of the things that you've got down for things you want to see changed or improved or bad stuff?
Well, one thing I would like to see is more PvE like space combat because
Mm.
like there really is no incentive to go play the original, you know, uh run of the mill starfighter missions like, you're on a rail and you're just shooting stuff. There really is no incentive to play that. I feel like they could, given the time, if they could develop that more. Um I really was not a fan of them shifting from the crystal or commendation system to the RNG system for the command crates.
Mm-hmm.
Um and then to add on to the command crates, they made the only other way to get gear for that is to get commendations from, I believe, killing operations bosses was the one thing that comes to mind for that. And there's not, like, I'm in a guild right now that doesn't even like it's not very active, and we barely run operations if we get enough people on for an operation. So there's not really any way for me to get those commendation points unless there's another way that I'm blanking on right now. And then this is just like a minor. This is one of the minor things. Like it's just me. I don't know if it's for a lot of people, but running alts through Fallen Empire and Eternal Throne can just take a really long time if you're trying to level them up.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's coming from someone who's got 16 characters that he's got to run through.
Yeah, going back to your point about the PVE Galactic Starfighter, that is a huge dream of mine. I would love whether it's sort of Flashpoint style or Operation style, but I mean they could even use the ships they have now. And yeah, you basically just get thrown into an open space instance of some description, and you're going through the story. And then I've had ideas like, oh, a Star Destroyer warps in, and you got people attacking from the outside, and then some people have to actually land their ships in the hangar, maybe sabotage it from the inside, then go back out, and then fly back out. And but yeah, some sort of PVE space story of some description I think is highly needed.
Well, I mean, or they could, they could even back into my previous good thing. One of the good things I mentioned, they could infuse that into the class stories. Like it could have a starfighter flying section where, like, you have to disable, like, for a Republic trooper, you have to take out two shield generators and the main cannon batteries or something
Mm-hmm.
before you land in the hangar, something like that. It would just, like, instead make having a starship as a character, make having a starship actually like mean something to like have, instead of like, oh, I'm just gonna hop on my ship and travel to Coruscant or whatever.
So you're thinking that they should actually focus more on the player ships rather than the Galactic Starfighter ships?
Oh well, I would like them to more focus on the player ships, but they could do Galactic Starfighter ships. I was one of those people who was like, before the game came out, people were like, "Oh man, are we gonna get to pick our own ships out of the 8 like concept art images they released?" Like, they released that Jedi Knight and Imperial Agent concept art, and I was like, I want that Imperial Agent ship for every single character that I have.
Yeah, it's definitely a cool design. So was
But
there any
yeah, sorry, go ahead.
so was there anything else you wanted to talk about?
No, not really. It's just like I mean, I understand the more focus for group content. People have been wanting to, get to that for a long time because there hasn't been a new operation in a while, and I completely understand that. It's just, I would like a lot more of a story as well, like class individual story, not like one singular story, which was fine for me for Knights of the Eternal Throne. It's just, add a little bit more to a class variety.
So let's actually go back to the operation thing for a second. If you were the decision maker and BioWare basically told you, we know people want operations, how would you put it in? Would you say it's best to go ahead and do what they did and just slowly release it throughout the year? Or should they wait until it's completely done and release it at once? What do you think is actually the better option?
Well, if they wanted to, so if they wanted to do an operation, what I would suggest that they do is announce that they're going to release it at a certain date. Make it a date that's actually, a good date for them, like not next week, but like maybe uh April, say. Give them a solid 2 months to work, have a team work on the operation while still fixing bugs here and there and whatever, and just announce that and get people excited for it, and then maybe do one of those in-game trailers that they're really good at, like they did for the new couple of uprisings they dropped, and then like put it on the test server, uh, get a group of people together, or get a bunch of people in there, see if they'll run it, make sure everything's working out good, and then put it out to the public in April. I think I said, yeah, April.
Mm-hmm.
If they put out if they put it out like that, make it make it not like, I didn't really like the last op they did, which was the Sky Raiders one. I think that's what it was called. Um, Whatever the one with the final boss fight is, the female captain and her bird. Um, really didn't like that one. But if they wanted to put out something, if they want to put out a good operation like that, that's how I would tell them to implement it, I guess.
So sort of moving on that same idea, the developers also announced that there's going to be a new daily area where they are going to be getting us back into the Empire versus Republic type storyline, and there's actually going to be a decision where you'll be able to choose one side or the other. What are your sort of general thoughts about that? Do you like it?
Yeah, that sounds like a um really good idea. I mean, is it like, Imperial players will be able to help Republic players? Is that what they're going for, or is it, Republic is still helping Republic?
It's actually either way, from what I understand. Yeah, if you're an Imperial, you can actually choose to help the Republic side, and a lot of people are really excited because they've been playing, let's say, light side Sith or dark side Jedi or some combination of that, and you can finally kind of, I mean, not really, but kind of switch sides for at least a short time. So a lot of people are really
That
happy about that. But I've heard other people say that, oh, it's too bad they can't make that permanent or something. But
Well, see, I mean, I understand why they can't make it permanent. I mean, to draw, from another MMO that I play, Star Trek Online, they still haven't let uh Federation and Klingon players team up with each other yet, and the game has been out for 7 years, and in the story, they're basically in an alliance with each other, but they still can't like team up and go run missions together. It's the same vein with that. Like Imperial players can't invite Republic players to a team. I understand why they can't do that. It's an MMO, for crying out loud. They have to do that. But you know, I kind of see the draw to it. If you have a dark side Jedi and you want to actually try and go full Sith, it's a really cool idea the way that you described it. It's just, um, I feel like that's a novelty, and if they wanted to, I'm pretty sure if they wanted to, they could do that, but that would be like, or they could like actually make a whole story arc over, your Jedi's going to turn over to the Sith or whatever. It's, excuse me, it's just, that would be way too complicated for them to do right now,
yeah,
in my opinion.
yep, I definitely agree. But yeah, I think that's gonna probably go ahead and do it for this episode. Any final words?
No, not really. Just pleasure to be here, and look forward to the rest of the community update videos and what the developers will be doing in the game in the future.
Yep, thanks for coming on the show. So yeah, once again, everybody, if you have any comments, we'd love to hear your feedback. Post them down below this video. But yeah, that will go ahead and do it. So everybody keep playing, have fun, and we will see you next time.